Did you notice that Goku never stays transformed when he uses the Spirit Bomb in this game? Or any game to really think about it. But this is to keep it in line with the history of the technique. The Spirit Bomb can only be performed by a mind undisturbed by negative thoughts, or as some would say, a pure heart. Since the Super Saiyan transformation is one that was brought about from rage, it's thought that he can't use the transformation to make the attack, but has shown that he can boost his power as seen in the Buu saga. The only time he's been seen doing the move while transformed is actually in Super Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission. Here, he can do it while he's in the Super Saiyan Blue transformation. That's just one of the many secrets, details, and unique references I'll be telling you about today.
Surfshark VPN, the award-winning VPN service. Surfshark has helped me protect myself while surfing the web, going through forums, looking for more details to tell you guys, as well as browsing my favorite streaming services, looking for anime that isn't available here in the US. If you use the code DJ1K, you can get 3 extra months for free and experience how great Surfshark is for yourself. We all wanted to be able to instant transmission to another place at any time, and this is your chance to do that, all while staying safe. You can be anywhere in the world while protecting your identity and taking control of your data. If there are any breaches or leaks, you will be notified, but even you can prevent that by encrypting your activity so nobody can track you in the first place. Using this VPN, you can securely connect to the most popular websites, even if blocked in your country. And like I mentioned earlier, unblock those streaming services. And this can be done on an unlimited amount of devices and is available for a plethora of devices with 24/7 support so you aren't left high and dry figuring out how to stay safe online. Purchasing a 24-month VPN plan is seriously one of the best options that you can find now. And Surfshark has a great offer, 3 months extra. Just scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description and use my promo code DJ1K. Just try it out yourself, and if you just so happen to find a better VPN solution with 24/7 support, they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Instant transmission over to their website and get Surfshark VPN now.
Everybody knows about the Ginyu Force and how they are one of the most recognizable parodies of the Power Rangers. There was always something missing though. So for this game, Akira Toriyama decided to create a character that would bring it all together, and her name is Bonyu. She's a former Ginyu Force member who left the group not being able to keep up with all the posing, which I believe is a way to emulate Kimberly leaving the Power Rangers. You can actually train against her if you go to Capsule Corps, or if you're in the mods and stuff like that, you can play as her, and her moveset is pretty similar to Jaice's, given that they come from the same planet. It's pretty cool. Remember the days when you would cause just crazy damage to your controller with the beam clashes in all of the older Dragon Ball games? Well, they're back. Kinda. It doesn't happen too often, but if timed correctly, you can enter a beam clash where you have to button mash to win, and it definitely took me back. Was this a hint that Tenkaichi 4 will be coming soon? I don't know, you tell me. Now this next one is like a 3-for-1. With there actually being a canon time machine in Dragon Ball Z, that must mean that there are a lot of timelines that just completely screws the continuity, but it also means that there's a lot of crossovers that can happen. Surprisingly, a lot of crossovers did happen. For instance, fighting all of the villainous enemies in this game lets you confront Mirror from the Xenoverse series. Depending on what level you are, it's actually a pretty good fight, I'm not gonna lie. And to see somebody from Xenoverse in this style is actually kind of cool too. If they do make a Xenoverse 3, which is kind of looking unlikely now, I would like to see it in this style opposed to the style that they have. I don't know, I just like this look a little bit better. This game's version of Goku also made an appearance in Dragon Ball Legends. He wasn't like meta or anything, but it's cool to see like, you know, different versions of Goku, even though the game already has like a million. I mean, seeing a particular one is always pretty cool. And this game even has ties to Dragon Ball FighterZ with Android 21 making an appearance. Now, she doesn't get to be played or anything like that. Like, I don't even think you can mod and play as her. You just get to see her in the training room, which, I mean, that's enough for me. And no, she will not step on you. Now, Vegeta is known to get the short end of the stick, never being able to, you know, cash in on his moment. And this game is absolutely no different, with one of his most exciting moments not even making an appearance in the game. During the fight with Cell, Vegeta decided to show us why he is the Prince of all Saiyans, and he used a move which I probably try to do as much as I tried to do the Kamehameha wave, and that's the Final Flash. Everything from the music, the atmosphere, the fact that Cell was so powerful and this was like Vegeta's time to shine. He could have showcased all his strength, but in Kakarot, scene's not there at all. And honestly, like father like son, because Trunks transforming into his 3rd grade Super Saiyan form, also missing. It was a pretty cool learning moment for him, so I'm not sure why they cut it, but it is what it is. If you go to the Orange Star High School with Goku, sometimes he'll say,
"Yeah, I definitely can't see myself going to school."
This is a reference to the movie that shall not be named, as this is the only iteration of Goku to go to high school, and even he doesn't want to picture himself that way. Do you know who Launch is? Maybe you remember her from the skill shop in Budokai 3, or maybe you don't remember her at all, which is perfectly fine, because Akira Toriyama didn't either. He claims to have forgotten her, and this was even referenced in the game when Goku says,
"Launch! It's been a while. Someone forget about you? What's up?"
Now, I could never forget the original Super Saiyan, but, it's not that big a deal. And we all know how weak Yamcha is. It's a reoccurring joke at this point, and in Kakarot, absolutely no different. Everybody knows about the Cyberman taking him out, but he has a side quest where he's caught cheating on 2 girls, so they retaliate by making him fight 2 robots. And although Gohan helps, in the end of the day, they just self-destruct, and again, he gets Yamcha.
What? What?
Did you know that in Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi 2, Grade 8 Vegeta's ultimate is incorrectly called Super Garlic Gun rather than Super Gallic Gun?
Ooh, did he say garlic?
Yes, Garlic Gun. And this is also the same for Grade 8 Baby. So was it intentional? I don't know. But that's the first of many details, secrets, and Easter eggs that we're gonna go over today. Everybody knows Captain Ginyu, not only for his wild poses with the Ginyu Force,
I'd be happy to take you on, because I'm just a kind of guy.
but also for his body change technique. And we saw him switch with Goku, a frog, and Tagoma. And to be honest, it seemed like one of the most broken moves in the series in my opinion. Now for the games, it was pretty broken, all the way up to Tenkaichi 1, as this was the only game in the Tenkaichi series that you could actually switch with your opponent, meaning you could just allow them to do damage to you, and once you switch bodies, they would switch characters and health bars.
Finished already.
From Tenkaichi 2 and onward, Ginyu would actually search for somebody to switch with, and he would switch with a set of designated characters. In Tenkaichi 3, it made it the worst. Like, it was basically useless because you can't even use super moves after you do the body change.
I like that body of yours. Change now.
It absolutely sucks to see a move that's so cool get nerfed so bad, but hey, I mean, for the sake of balance, right?
Boring.
Zanya of the Galaxy Soldiers is a listener of pop music. I know this because if Zanya beats Krillin or Master Roshi, she says,
Don't you wish your girlfriend was tough like me? Don't you?
which is based on the song by the Pussycat Dolls and Busta Rhymes. Maybe Bojack didn't like that song, which is why he got rid of it. Tenkaichi 1 is the only game where you can touch the ground in the World Tournament stage, as well as touching the roof in the building going behind the walls near the entrance. Now in the later 2 sequels, you actually float above the grass and the wall section is blocked off, but you can still be hit to the ground. And then in Raging Blast 2, you never hit the ground unless you specify the ring out rules. Now this is Budokai 2. Let's see what happens when you play as Trunks with his normal capsules equipped. Looks fine, right? Now, let's choose him, but equip the capsule Burning Slash in his skill slot. Notice the difference? Yeah, now that's a cool detail to me because, I mean, why bring the sword if you're not going to use it? It's just extra weight.
Burning attack! Beat it!
Many characters have the Super Kamehameha wave, but there is one that stands out here, and that's GT Goku's. I'm sure you're wondering why he got this fire animation and seemingly out of nowhere. Well, this is actually the Kamehameha he used to kill Staff Officer Black in Dragon Ball: The Path to Power. There is another weird thing about GT Goku as well. If you go to him, you can see that he has no options to go into Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Now if we check out Adult Goku, you can see he does. And now I know what you're thinking. Well, what about Vegeta? Both Z and GT Vegeta can fuse into Super Saiyan 4. So I wonder why GT Goku didn't get that transformation or fusion. Despite Budokai 1 only including the story up to the Cell Saga, the game has quite a few elements from later parts of the series, such as Great Saiyaman being playable here. Tien also has his blue outfit from the Blue Saga, and Vegeta has his outfit from the end of Dragon Ball Z. Android 17's alternate costume also has the coat he wore in the Super 17 Saga in GT, and Hercule uses the Game Boy bombs that he attempted to attack Majin Buu with in both of his ultimate attacks.
Here. Say goodbye. You're far from this.
Now, a character that we all love is Future Gohan, and he is known for losing his arm. But he is often depicted with only having a broken arm and it still being attached to him while he uses the other arm. Now, there have been games that show him without his arm while being playable, and surprisingly, none of those games are Tenkaichi 3. The 3 games that feature him playable with only one arm are Dragon Ball Z Sagas, unfortunately, Dragon Ball Legends, and recently Dragon Ball Z Kakarot and the Trunks DLC. Did you know that if you put a Cyberman against Yamcha and use self-destruct, Yamcha will instantly KO regardless of how much health he has?
Hey, ow! Yamcha!
And this also carries over to Infinite World. That's just the first of many detailed secrets and Easter eggs we're going to go over today. If you know any secrets, comment them down below, and remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Let's get into it. Staying with Infinite World, Gotenks has an interesting detail with his super moves where they change based on who initiated the fusion. He can use the Double Buster if used playing as Kid Trunks. While in Budokai 3, even if the fusion was done with Goten or Kid Trunks, he still used the Kamehameha. In Budokai 2, Gotenks has the Super Ghost Kamikaze attack as an ultimate that he can use both in Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 3. The ghosts that he summons only come with the Super Saiyan hair though, instead of mimicking whatever hair he has. This move made a return in Budokai 3, but they actually did make the ghost mimic the form that Gotenks is in properly. We all remember rotating the analog sticks to get the bar full and letting these super attacks off in Budokai 2. Now Vegeto's Spirit Sword is a special one though, because it's the only ultimate that he doesn't use if the analog stick bar isn't full.
What's the matter? I wish you'd take this more seriously. Here goes. This is getting dull.
That's real Vegito-like. Legacy of Goku 2 has an electronics store called Circuit Shack, which I believe is a reference to two really old stores, Circuit City and Radio Shack, just mashed together. Here, which is found in West City, there are 7 SNES games, including Super Metroid, Final Fantasy IV, Secret of Mana, and The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. There's a few more, but if you know them, let me know down below. In Tenkaichi 2, when Goku faces Kid Goku, he says this. In Dragon Ball Fusion's North American release, all swords in the game had been replaced with wooden swords. As a result, sword-wielding characters such as Future Trunks and Deborah wield wooden swords when performing sword-based special moves. There was no explanation as to why this change was made, but it's thought that the change was made at Nintendo's request. Oddly enough, the use of firearms are left uncensored, but maybe because they're like key blasts instead of like bullets. Switching back to the 2D fighters, unlike most fighters in Budokai 2 at their base form, Frieza and Cell's ki decreases over time by default. But this may be due to them being in their final forms already when you pick them. Dragon Ball Z Burst Limit is a very interesting game to me. One of the most underrated, but it does seem to lack in quite a few ways, including this interesting detail where the game shows Goku during the father-son Kamehameha wave in his base form instead of a Super Saiyan, which he was. Goku having a Sage Mode costume in Battle of Z is similar to how Naruto has Goku's uniform as a bonus costume in Ultimate Ninja Storm 3. And both costumes are based on an artwork featured in the Naruto 10th Anniversary Special Fan Book 2. But this isn't the only time Dragon Ball had a crossover in a game. In Extreme Butoden, a 3DS game, it received an update which allows local and online crossplay with One Piece Great Pirate Coliseum that allow users from one game to battle users of another, and if a character from the One Piece franchise gets turned into a cookie, their cookie sprite will actually be a skull rather than a unique cookie-based character sprite. And going back to Legacy of Goku 2, Hercule, while being a playable character, actually has his own alternate ending. If you enter the ZZTV studio in West City, also while having Hercule being a level 50, it will trigger this cutscene right here. the cutscene is basically just Hercule taking credit for defeating Cell while saying all the Super Saiyans and everything were just parlor tricks, sleight of hand, all that, which is a pretty Hercule thing to do. Did you ever wonder why the Kamehameha wave was yellow in Budokai 1? Now, most people are familiar with the Kamehameha's famous blue color, but in the full color manga, it is actually depicted as being yellow, as are most ki attacks. This is why you will see a lot of people's moves being yellow in this game. Either that, or the developers didn't want to make the blast different colors, but I think it's the first one. And that's just the first of many detailed secrets and Easter eggs that we're going to go over today.
I want to fight someone tougher.
Moving on from Budokai 1, let's talk about my favorite game in the whole Budokai series, and that's Budokai 2. Keeping up with the 2 trend, let's talk about Super Saiyan 2. Now, Future Trunks is in this game, and he's given the option to transform into Super Saiyan 2, even though at this point, he was never seen or shown to be able to reach that form until Dragon Ball Super. And we have seen him instead transform into Super Saiyan grades 2 and 3, but these transformations didn't really make it into the games for Trunks until the Tenkaichi series. Now, it was in Budokai 1, but it's quite inaccurate in appearance. I mean, look at this. Budokai 2 also had an exclusive version in Japan for V-Jump readers that had only about 2,000 copies made, and it is called Dragon Ball Z 2V, the rarest Dragon Ball game in existence right now. It is a special bonus edition that not only keeps the bonuses from the original Japanese release, but also adds a few more. And the best part about this game is that it starts at 100% completion, so there is no need to grind for the extras. The main additions I want to talk about revolve around Frieza. Now, Frieza himself only gets a new Majin costume, but his other 2 costumes are way more interesting. These being Frieza and Cooler. Frieza is Frieza's son, yes, his son. He has his first form, and if you use Frieza's spaceship, his final form. Now, Cooler has his final form, and then if you use the spaceship, his metal form. And they both have special variations of the Death Ball, with Cooler's being the Supernova. And Frieza's having his face on it. While it does look silly, I think it's a cool way to acknowledge and call back to Neko Majin and it being a parody of Dragon Ball Z. Bulma was actually planned to be a playable character in Budokai 3, but was scrapped for unknown reasons. She has a full model as well as some lines indicating that she would be playable with the announcer calling her name.
Bulma versus Bulma!
She still remains in the game and is actually playable with some fiddling around with the game, and she can be replaced with Videl. Although she doesn't have any of her own moves, her model actually looks really good, and I wonder what her moveset would have been like. Maybe she could have shot at people like she did Goku. If I had to guess, they took the moveset and actually put it on the game that shall not be named for that Bulma. Taking it way back to a game that I actually played a lot growing up, but wasn't, well received by many. Ultimate Battle 22, or 27 if you know the secret code, was actually Gogeta's debut, although it seems like he was added by mistake given the fact that Fusion Reborn had not yet aired in the US. He was given Vegeta's name, and not only does the secret opening show the Potara technique, but he's also given Vegeta's signature moves such as the final Kamehameha. Digging around through these games, you do come to notice that the games make a lot of references to the manga, whether it's with costumes or actual moves or sometimes even quotes. For example, in Tenkaichi 1, Kid Goku has the quote,
I'm not this caca whatever guy.
versus some characters, including his father. Cackle Whatever actually comes from the 17th manga volume chapter, Tales of Future Not Quite Past, in which adult Goku says it to Raditz when Raditz calls him Kakarot. Budokai 3 also has some codes that you can enter to unlock some different variations of Goku, Future Trunks, and Piccolo respectively. Goku stands for "See you later guys, let's meet up again after you die." And Goku says this after returning to the afterlife with Baba in volume 40 chapter 477. Future Trunks stands for "I'm so sorry for making you wait." Trunks says this when he and Vegeta exit the Room of Spirit and Time in volume 32 chapter 375. And Piccolo stands for "Gahaha, this is the greatest. It's the greatest feeling." King Piccolo says this after he kills Shenron in volume 13 chapter 148. Out of these three, I'm not gonna lie, Future Trunks with the battle armor and long hair has to be my favorite. Top tier design. Remember how Super Saiyan 3 Broly and Vegeta were announced as DLC for Raging Blast, and they were said to be game exclusive characters. However, they actually appear in an arcade card game called Dragon Ball Z Dragon Battlers before being DLC for this game, making them not exclusive. Speaking of Raging Blast, there is one interesting detail about Goku. While wearing his regular costume, Goku's hair as a Super Saiyan is the same as his hair as a Super Saiyan 2, but in his alternate costumes, his hair is accurately modeled in Super Saiyan 1, looking more like the Namek Saga. And this is the same for Raging Blast 2 actually.
Did you know that Dragon Ball Z Infinite World was the first game to introduce the buff Kamehameha used by Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta? Now it's found its way in the Dragon Ball Fighters. And that's just the first of many detailed secrets and Easter eggs we're going over today. If you like details like this, subscribe and check out my other videos. Taking it back to Budokai 1, on the dual image as well as the box art, Vegeta is seen in his Buu Saga attire. Also on the back side of the box art, you can see Majin Vegeta, Great Saiyan Man, Babidi, Majin Buu, and Dabura, and none of these characters are actually in the game because as we all know, it only goes up to the Cell Saga. Maybe they were cut content. And speaking of cut content, I have an idea that maybe some characters in Xenoverse 2 were supposed to get more moves than they were given. There are several unused voice clips, including Goku Black using the Kaioken and Broly using the Final Flash.
Final Flash! Kaioken!
Now imagine if Broly really had a Final Flash. You know how nuts that would be? Budokai 2, as I've stated in other videos, is my favorite in the Budokai series, and this is easily because of the secret fusions. You have fusions between Tien and Yamcha, and you have Hercule and Goku. They took it a step further though. Super Buu has the absorption move, and outside of getting Gotenks and Gohan, there are 4 more that will actually occur randomly. 4 options were Vegeta, Cell, Frieza, and then Tien and Yamcha. Now I think stuff like this is super cool, and these what if scenarios should be explored more. Also, let me know what you would name these absorption / fusions. Like for Buu and Cell, I like Bell. Staying with Budokai 2, we know a good amount of the ultimates require you to use the analog stick, but the Warp Kamehameha, the Final Flash, Volleyball Fist, Vidal's Close Call, Hercule Special, Present for You, Angry Explosion, and the Body Change are the only ultimates that do not involve using the analog stick, with Hercule actually being the only character where both of his ultimates don't involve the use of it. There are also some differences between the PS2 and GameCube versions of Budokai 2 in the US. The GameCube gave you the adjustable health bar for the duel, which didn't come for PS2 until Budokai 3. And the GameCube had an extra costume for Goku with his damaged clothing and Piccolo with his cape and turban. When diving into these older games, I do find it interesting how much some of these games reference the anime and the manga, and there are several examples of it. Like in Budokai 1, during the story mode cutscenes in Kame House, there's a book on Master Roshi's table that has a blurred image of the cover for the first Dragon Ball manga.
Kid Gohan's first and second costumes in Ultimate Tenkaichi have his waist strap colored blue like in the manga. And in Tenkaichi 3, when Baby Vegeta uses the final flash, he yells out Big Bang Attack like he did in the anime. I'm sure there are a lot more references, so if you know any, let me know down below. If two Kid Gokus fight each other in Ultimate Battle 22, the one who loses the match transforms into Oolong after he falls, revealing him to have been an imposter. And Budokai 3 had an interesting detail with Vegeta's costumes when using Babidi's mind control. When it's equipped to Vegeta, any of his armor becomes battle damage when he's transformed. This isn't the only game with a weird outfit detail. Dragon Ball GT Final Bout is the first game to feature adult Goku in his GT clothes. This game marks also the first time that adult GT Goku appears as a Super Saiyan. This brings me over to the Shin Budokai games for the PSP. Future Gohan has a Super Saiyan 2 transformation, as well as the potential Unleash, which he couldn't do in the actual anime, but is a reference to the fact that he has the ability to do it just like his present counterpart. And that's all I have for today. If you want more videos like this, like and subscribe. Also comment any secrets or hidden details that you may know and any other games that you would like to see me cover. Until next time, peace.